Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're doing something really practical. I'm giving you 25 specific ways to save more money across the 5 biggest spending categories in most people's budgets. No fluff, no vague advice, just concrete actionable things you can actually do starting this week. Because here's what I've noticed. Most people know they should spend less. The gap isn't knowledge, it's specificity. Spend less on food is not a plan, but meal plan on Sunday, pack lunch 3 days a week, and switch one grocery run to the discount store down, that's a plan. So today we're going to get specific across 5 areas where almost everyone has more savings potential than they realize. Let's get into it. Area number 1, food. And this is the category where most people have the most untapped savings potential. Tip 1, stop eating out as your default. I know this one gets said a lot, but let me give it some context that makes it more actionable. The average American spends over $3,000 a year eating out. That's not special occasions. That's the daily lunch, the weeknight takeout when you're tired, the coffee shop stop on the way to work. None of those individual purchases feel significant, but they add up to a number that would shock most people if they actually tracked it. The fix isn't to never eat out again. It's to make eating at home the default and eating out the intentional choice. Prep your dinner in the morning before work so it's easy to finish when you get home. Pack lunch even 2 or 3 days a week. Those small shifts can save hundreds of dollars a month. Tip 2, plan your meals weekly. Menu planning is one of those habits that sounds tedious until you start doing it and realize it actually reduces stress more than it adds it. You go to the store once with a list, you buy what you actually need, you waste less food, and you never stand in front of the fridge at 7 p.m. wondering what to make. Less food waste alone saves most households $30 to $50 a month. Tip 3, shop at a cheaper store. This sounds obvious, but a lot of people shop at the same store out of habit without ever comparing prices. Discount grocery stores often carry identical or comparable products at meaningfully lower prices. You don't have to switch entirely. Even buying certain staples at a discount store while getting other items at your regular store adds up to real savings. Tip 4, shop the sales and build a price book. A price book is just a simple record of what things cost at different stores at different times. Once you know the sales cycle for items you buy regularly, you can stock up when prices hit their lowest point instead of buying at whatever the current price happens to be. Tip 5, buy in bulk strategically. Non-perishables you use regularly, items with long shelf lives, things you can split with a friend or family member. Bulk buying on those items consistently reduces your per unit cost. Just make sure you're actually calculating cost per unit, not just assuming the bigger package is cheaper because sometimes it isn't. Area number 2, entertainment. This is often the first category people target when they want to cut expenses, and with good reason. There's usually a lot of room here. Tip 6, find free events in your area. Most cities and towns offer far more free programming than people realize. Free concerts, festivals, farmers markets, outdoor movie nights, museum free days, community events. The entertainment exists. Most people just don't look for it until they're actively trying to save money. Tip 7, cut or downgrade your cable. The average cable bill is well over $100 a month. Streaming services offer more content than most people can watch for a fraction of that cost. If you haven't done a cable audit recently, do one this week. Calculate what you're actually paying and compare it to what streaming combinations would cover what you actually watch. Tip 8, choose cheaper accommodations for travel. Hotels are expensive and they're not always the best experience. Camping at state and national parks costs a fraction of hotel rates, and for a lot of people, the experience is actually better. Cabin rentals through park systems, vacation rental platforms, or house swapping, all of these can dramatically reduce the biggest single cost of most vacations. Tip 9, go earlier in the day. Movies, restaurants, entertainment venues, most of them charge less for daytime versus evening. Matinee movie tickets, early bird dinner specials, happy hour pricing, you get the same experience for significantly less just by adjusting the timing. Tip 10, be strategic about subscription services. The average household now pays for multiple streaming services, music platforms, audiobook subscriptions, gaming services, and various other monthly charges. Do a full audit. Cancel anything you haven't actively used in the last 30 days. You're almost certainly paying for something you've forgotten about. Area number 3, insurance. And this is one that most people treat as a fixed expense when it's actually one of the most negotiable categories in your entire budget. Tip 11, shop your insurance every 2 to 3 years. Insurance companies offer their most competitive rates to new customers. If you've been with the same provider for 5 years without shopping around, you are almost certainly overpaying. A single afternoon of comparison shopping can save you hundreds of dollars a year on auto and homeowners insurance. Tip 12. Take advantage of every discount available. Alumni associations, employer programs, professional organizations, bundling multiple policies with the same provider, good driver discounts, home security discounts. Most insurers offer more discounts than their customers know about. Call your provider and specifically ask what discounts you qualify for that you're not currently receiving. Tip 13. Increase your deductible. Raising your deductible from $500 to $1,000 on auto or home insurance typically reduces your premium meaningfully. The trade-off is that you pay more out of pocket if you do file a claim. So make sure your emergency fund can cover the deductible before making this switch. Tip 14. Consider a high-deductible health plan paired with an HSA. If you're generally healthy and don't have frequent medical needs, a high-deductible health plan often means a significantly lower monthly premium. Paired with a health savings account, the combination gives you a triple tax advantage. Contributions are tax-deductible, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for medical expenses are tax-free. Tip 15. Stay in network. Every time you use an out-of-network provider or unapproved facility, you pay significantly more out of pocket. Before any non-emergency medical appointment or procedure, confirm that the provider is in your network. This single habit can save hundreds of dollars in unexpected bills. Area number 4. Housing. For most people, this is their single largest expense, and even small percentage improvements translate to large dollar savings. Tip 16. Consider a roommate. This is one of the highest impact financial decisions available to anyone in a housing situation where it's feasible. Splitting rent and utilities in half doesn't just save you money. It can accelerate your ability to save for a down payment, pay off debt, or build an investment account dramatically faster. Tip 17. Consider moving home temporarily. I know this doesn't work for everyone, and it's not always ideal, but 1 year of living at home with a clear financial goal, building a down payment, eliminating debt, building an emergency fund, can set you up for a dramatically better financial position when you do move out. Tip 18. Choose locations strategically. Adding 5 or 10 minutes to your commute by living slightly further from the most expensive areas can save hundreds of dollars a month in rent. Do the math on what that commute time actually costs you versus what the rent savings are. Often, it's a very favorable trade-off. Tip 19. Consider whether buying makes more sense than renting. In some markets and at certain price points, buying a home can actually cost less per month than renting comparable space, and you're building equity instead of paying a landlord's mortgage. This depends heavily on your local market, your financial situation, and your plans for how long you'll stay. Tip 20. Look at lower cost of living areas, especially if remote work is an option. The geographic arbitrage available to people who can work remotely is genuinely one of the most powerful financial levers available right now. The same salary in a lower-cost city can mean dramatically lower housing costs, more savings capacity, and a higher quality of life. And area number 5, transportation, second only to housing in many budgets and an area with more flexibility than most people realize. Tip 21, carpool to work. Splitting gas and parking costs with even one other person cuts your daily commuting costs in half. Most major cities have rideshare boards and apps that make finding carpool partners straightforward. Tip 22, use public transportation. Beyond the cost savings, which can be substantial if you're currently driving and parking in a city, public transit gives you back commute time you can use for reading, listening to podcasts, or just decompressing before and after work. Tip 23, bike or walk when possible. If you live in a walkable or bikeable area, this is a zero-cost transportation option that also gives you daily exercise. Even replacing 1 or 2 car trips a week with walking or biking adds up to real savings in gas and wear over time. Tip 24, skip car ownership entirely if you live in a city. Between public transit, rideshare apps, and car-sharing services, car ownership in a dense urban environment is often more expensive than the alternative. Insurance, registration, parking, maintenance, and depreciation add up to thousands of dollars a year. If you're in a city with good transit options, run the numbers. You might be surprised. Tip 25, Buy used instead of new. New cars depreciate roughly 20% in their first year. Someone else takes that depreciation hit and you buy it a year later for significantly less. A 3 to 5 year old vehicle with reasonable mileage that's been well maintained gives you most of the reliability of a new car at a fraction of the cost, with lower insurance premiums on top. All right, let's land this. 25 ways to save more money across 5 categories: food, entertainment, insurance, housing, and transportation. Every single one of these is actionable. You don't need all 25 to make a meaningful difference. Pick the 3 or 4 that apply most directly to your current situation and focus there first. Because here's the thing, most people's budgets have way more flexibility than they think. Not because they're spending irresponsibly, but because they've never looked at these categories systematically with fresh eyes. One conversation with your insurance company, one grocery store switch, one fewer takeout meal per week. Stacked together, these small changes compound into hundreds or even thousands of dollars in annual savings. Start with one category this week, just one. Make one change and see what it does to your monthly number. Then build from there. If this was helpful, drop a like and subscribe. New personal finance videos every week. And tell me in the comments, which of these 5 categories has the most savings potential in your budget right now? I read every comment. I'll see you in the next one.